Admiral Voss stood at the viewport of the Imperial Sovereign flagship of the Galactic Empire's 7th Armada, watching as his fleet assembled in the outer reaches of the Sol system. 47 warships, the largest assembly of military might this sector had seen in centuries, all for the subjugation of one insignificant planet, Earth. Final preparations are complete, Admiral, Commander Trell reported, standing at attention. The diplomatic envoy awaits your command to begin the first contact protocol. Voss nodded, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence, a sign of satisfaction among his species. Excellent. The humans have no idea we're even here. Begin the approach. Remember, standard procedure. Offer them protection and resources in exchange for allegiance and tribute. If they refuse, his mandibles click together. Well, we have 47 reasons why they shouldn't. The diplomatic vessel detached from the fleet, a sleek silver craft designed to impress primitive species with its seemingly impossible technology. It accelerated toward the blue-green planet, carrying the Empire's terms of surrender disguised as a generous offer of galactic citizenship. But something was wrong. 3 hours later, Voss paced the command deck, his exoskeleton clicking against the metallic floor. No response from the diplomatic team? None at all? Nothing, Admiral. The communications officer replied. They entered Earth's atmosphere as planned, but all contact ceased shortly after. Voss snarled. Launch a scouting party. I want eyes on that planet immediately. The scout ships never returned. This is unprecedented, Voss muttered 6 hours later. The command staff watched nervously as their admiral's skin shifted from blue to a dangerous orange. No pre-FTL civilization has ever taken down Imperial vessels. It's impossible. Perhaps a natural disaster, sir, suggested Trell. 3 separate vessels? Nonsense. Voss made a decision. Prepare a full tactical squadron. 12 warships. I want answers. The 12 ships moved into formation and accelerated toward Earth. The command deck fell silent as they waited. Minutes stretched into hours. Sir, the communications officer finally spoke, voice quivering. We've received a transmission from Earth. Put it through, Voss ordered. A human face appeared on the main view screen, a male with dark hair and stern features. He wore a simple black uniform with no visible insignia. This is Director Marcus of Earth Defense. Your vessels have been neutralized. Your personnel are unharmed but contained. This is your only warning. Earth is off limits. Leave now and do not return. Voss bristled. How dare? We've analyzed your technology, the human continued, as if Voss hadn't spoken. Impressive, but outdated by our standards. Your weapons rely on principles we abandoned centuries ago. Impossible. Voss roared. Your species hasn't even colonized its own moon permanently. The human's lips curled slightly. That's what we wanted you to think. We've been watching the Empire for decades. Your expansion patterns, your subjugation protocols. Did you really believe we wouldn't notice your probes, your surveillance? Voss felt a cold sensation spread through his thorax. You're bluffing. Humans are a primitive species. Our intelligence is flawless. Your intelligence is exactly what we fed you, Marcus replied. Earth appears primitive because we choose to appear primitive. It's safer that way. Suddenly, alarms blared across the command deck. Admiral, the tactical officer shouted. Multiple objects approaching from Earth at impossible velocities. They've bypassed all our detection systems until now. Impossible, Voss whispered, but he could see the trajectory data himself. Hundreds of small craft, moving faster than anything in the Imperial arsenal. You have 1 hour to leave the Sol system, Marcus stated flatly. After that, we cannot guarantee your safety. This is not a negotiation. The transmission cut. Battle stations, Voss ordered. All ships, prepare too. Sir, Trell interrupted, voice hollow. Our weapon systems, they're not responding. Something is interfering with them. Communications between ships are failing too, added another officer. In growing horror, Voss watched as hundreds of small Earth vessels surrounded his fleet, taking position with precision that spoke of terrifying technological superiority. Admiral, Trell whispered. What do we do? For the first time in his military career, Admiral Voss felt fear. Genuine fear. He remembered the stories from his youth, tales of species that appeared primitive but harbored terrible secrets, species that the Empire had learned to avoid at all costs. Order the retreat, he said quietly. Full withdrawal from the Sol system. But sir, the Emperor will understand when he sees our recordings, Voss cut in. Some worlds aren't worth conquering. Some enemies aren't worth making. As the Imperial fleet reversed course and prepared for FTL jump, Voss gazed one last time at the blue planet. Log this in the Imperial Registry, he commanded. Sol system, third planet. Designation Earth. Status, restricted. Approach forbidden under penalty of destruction. Reason, he paused, choosing his words carefully. Reason, they are not what they seem. Within the hour, the Imperial fleet vanished from the Sol system, never to return. And on Earth, Director Marcus watched them go, then turned to his staff. Update the count, he said simply. That makes 17 galactic empires we've turned away. He smiled thinly. Maybe someday we'll find one worthy of true contact. Behind him, the holographic display showed the real Earth Defense Network, not hundreds, but thousands of satellites and stations, technologies centuries beyond what they'd allowed the Empire to glimpse. Humanity's greatest defense had always been the same: let them underestimate us until it's too late.